actually be one of the makings. We have the Indianapolis Colts right now sitting at 2-2 on the season, and the winless the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right now, the Jaguars are a 3-point favorite in this game, Mark. 3-point favorite. So with that being said, give me 3 keys to the Colts and how they can beat the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, number one, I think Indianapolis, they play better with Flacco at the helm. I think I just heard that Richardson is going to be out with a hip oblique injury. So that's good. I just think that he has a better vibe with the wide receivers. They've played better while he was under center. Joe Flacco, I'm saying. So that's my number one key is that's good that Flacco will be starting. Two, they need to keep their rush offense going, but it's going to be tough because I just heard that Jonathan Taylor is probably not even going to play. So whoever their backup is, I'm not totally sure who that is, but they got to step up, and that's got to be better. Lastly, the Indianapolis pass offense, they need to attack Darby. He's been terrible this year. He has 145 rating. He's allowed 324 yards. You attack him, you might win.
All right, so just to confirm, Mark, Trey Sherman is the backup running back for JT. Trey Sherman is the receiver that dropped the pass last season that should have put the Colts in the playoffs. And Anthony Richardson hasn't been ruled out yet, but he is doubtful. So,
Okay, well, doubtful usually means that they're not playing.
Right.
Usually.
I mean, we still got 24 hours, so maybe potentially it could happen. But just to recap, Mark said, start Joe Flacco. Even if Anthony Richardson is healthy, start Joe Flacco. Run the ball with Trey Sherman. Let the man eat. And then, of course, attack Darby. Darby is formerly of the Baltimore Ravens. But those are the 3 keys for the Indianapolis Colts, guys. Here are my 3 Colts for the Jacksonville Jaguars of how they can win this game. Key number 1 is do not be scared of change. Do not be scared of change. Let me tell you guys this one more time. Jacksonville Jaguars fans, do not be scared of change. Trevor Lawrence has not won a game since last Thanksgiving. Mark, that's nearly a year ago. So far this season, he has not broken 220 passing yards yet this season. His completion percent is below 50% on the year, and his QBR is at 50 this season on average. You brought Mac Jones in to be a backup. Take a playbook out of Carolina. Shake things up. Do not be afraid to bench your franchise highest paid quarterback in the NFL, Trevor Lawrence. Put in Mac Jones. Do not be afraid of change. That is key number 1. Mac Jones, baby. Number 2 is force passing. Force the Colts to pass the ball. Now, this is with Anthony Richardson playing, which I know he is doubtful, but if Anthony Richardson is playing, JT has been the workhorse for the Colts, which the last two games with 40 carries in the last 2 games. He is out this game. Trey Sherman will be taken over. I want to see if Anthony Richardson can take control of the Colts and actually beat a team with his passing abilities. We may not be able to see it, but if he's in there, I want to force Anthony Richardson to pass the ball. So far this season, Richardson has not had a game over 50% passing completion rate. Not over 50%. Yes, I know last week he was 3 for 4 versus the Steelers, but does that really count? Yeah, probably not. The last 3 games alone, he has had a QBR under 37. 37 QBR. What? Forced him to pass the ball. Key number 3, I want to see a lot of hard hits. I want you to hit the quarterback over and over and over again. I don't care if it's fragile Richardson in there or 30 or 40-year-old Joe Flacco. I want you to put their helmet on their chest, get a personal foul. Hell, get 2. I don't care. See how valuable those quarterbacks actually are for the Colts. See if they're fragile or if it actually can take a hit. Let's see how good 40-year-old Joe Flacco really is. Be physical all game long. So keys for the Jets. Change is good. Don't be afraid to bench Trevor Lawrence. Force the Colts to pass. And lots of hard hits. Lots of physical play on the Jacksonville Jaguars' part. So, Mark, with that being said, guys in the comments below, wow emoji for the Colts, heart emoji for the heart, or for the Jaguars. Mark, who do you got winning this game and why?
I got to go with Jacksonville. I just think that they've been so terrible that they're finally going to turn it around. And I'm not sure if you know this, but Indy usually never wins in Jacksonville, so that they have that against them. So partly those two things, I think that Jacksonville's going to turn it around, and Indy never wins there. So I'm going Jacksonville.
Yeah, and the loss of not only Anthony Richardson, their starting quarterback, right? As much as I dog him, he is still kind of the soul of that team, right? Joe Flacco is 40 years old. He can't take hits. But missing JT is going to hurt. That man
Yeah.
has like 40 some odd carries the last 2 weeks. He has been carrying the load, right? He's been a dog for them. But I do think the Jacksonville Jaguars do get their first win of the season as well. Like you said, just the Colts do not play well in Jacksonville. I don't know if it's the heat, if it's the stadium, or if it's the 1 o'clock. Like, it's something just doesn't vibe over there. So we're both taking the Jaguars in this particular game. Kevin says a pair of trap teams looking for another tie this week. LMAO. He says, but nah, I'm just kidding. Kevin's taking the Colts. John is taking the Colts as well. Lou Man 007 is taking the Jaguars. 1, Doug is already on the hot seat. 2, Trevor's ready. 3, Savage is back. Duval County, stand up. Mark, let me ask you this question. Doug Pederson, I feel, is on the hot seat, right? If you do not
Definitely.
win now, when you go over Europe, you may not have a job when you come back. Let's just be honest. Trevor Lawrence has been playing bad. If both of these things happen, Trevor Lawrence continues to play bad and they get beat by a weak Indianapolis Colts team, do they even make the trip to Europe? Meaning Doug.
I don't think so, man. You didn't mention that also Shad Khan, the Jacksonville owner, he's got a lot of connections in England. They're kind of like Jacksonville. He wants kind of like to be their team, and if they go there and they drop a turd, yeah, he's gonna be really pissed off. And yeah, Peterson's probably not making it back because they gave Lawrence too much money. They're not cutting him.
Yeah, I don't know. Trade might be good. But Jim says not the Colts. So Jim is not picking the Jaguars, but he's not picking the Colts either. Paul Akers says that Richardson won't play. I mean, he is doubtful. He's definitely not out yet, but I probably concur with that, with the hip pointer oblique injury. Alpha Rob says the Jags get their first win of the season. I concur. Kevin Cummings says McDoodle is a wackadoodle. If you put him in, you expect to lose. Well, if you put Mac Jones in, you can't be any worse off than you are now, right? Right, Mark? I mean, 0-4. I believe they're like 9. They lost 9 of their last 10 games. Like, they're not in a good way right now as is. So why not try to put Mac in there?
I'm with you, man. I think Mac Jones got a bad rap in Jacksonville. I mean, not Jacksonville, in New England. Like, he went there. He was in like the last end of the Belichick regime. You know, they had Josh McDaniels that year. He goes to the Pro Bowl. Then the next year after that, they have Patricia and Joe Peterson running the offense, guys that don't really know offense. And Belichick's so arrogant that he's just like, oh, those guys could do it. Like, yeah. But obviously they couldn't. So the dude got a bad rap there, bad deal. So like, yeah, I'd be okay seeing him start in Jacksonville, but they've given Trevor all this money. So what do?
Sometimes you got to pay off your losses, and it is what it is. Derek says the Colts will win if they keep Trevor Lawrence off the field. So run the damn ball, says Derek, run the ball. And Kevin says the Jags do play well in Europe.
They do.
Kevin, as a Buffalo Bills fan, you know this very, very well. Last year, we were pretty high on the Jaguars. Like when I say we, like the media in general. Buffalo Bills come over here kind of flying high, get dick stomped by the Jaguars in Europe, and bada bing, bada boom, that began the Bills' downfall. Also kind of the glow up of the Jacksonville Jaguars last season. So they do play well. But guys, who do you guys got? Colts or the Jaguars? Wow emoji for the Colts, and of course the heart emoji for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Next up, we have a game that many people are talking